Now let me tell you why this story should terrify every American. The United States today is following the exact same playbook that destroyed Britain. Not similar, not comparable, exact. Britain's debt to GDP ratio after World War II was over 200%. America's debt to GDP ratio right now is approaching 120% and climbing rapidly. We added over $2 trillion to our national debt just this year alone. We are borrowing $7 billion every single day just to keep the government running. Britain lost its reserve currency status, partly because it kept spending on a global military presence it could no longer afford. America currently spends more on its military than the next 9 countries combined. We have over 750 military bases in more than 80 countries. We are policing the world with a credit card. Britain maintained the illusion of power by forcing colonies to use the pound. America maintains the illusion of power by forcing oil to be sold in dollars, but that system is cracking. China and Russia now conduct most of their trade in their own currencies. The BRICS nations are actively building alternative payment systems. Even traditional American allies are starting to hedge their bets. Britain refused to accept its diminished status and kept acting like the dominant power, even when the numbers told a different story. America still acts as if it is 1995, as if we produce everything the world needs, as if there is no alternative to the dollar, as if our military can solve every problem. That arrogance cost Britain everything. It is about to cost America the same. But here is the part that really keeps me up at night. Britain's fall happened gradually, then suddenly. For decades, the warning signs were there. The debt accumulation, the industrial decline, the overextended military. But because the pound remained strong, because the empire still looked impressive on a map, British leaders convinced themselves that the good times would last forever. Then came one crisis, just one crisis. And in 11 days, a century of dominance was over. America's Suez moment is coming. It could be a failed military intervention that turns the world against us. It could be a debt ceiling crisis where Congress plays chicken one too many times, and the world decides American Treasury bonds are no longer a safe bet. It could be a geopolitical humiliation where we try to use financial sanctions, and the target simply refuses to comply because they no longer need our banking system. It could be something we cannot even predict, some shock that reveals what has been true for years. America is living beyond its means, sustained only by the world's willingness to keep accepting our currency. The numbers for 2026 are particularly alarming. The Congressional Budget Office projects that interest payments on the national debt will exceed $1 trillion annually. We will be spending more on interest than we spend on defense, more on interest than we spend on Medicare. We will be like a household that is so deep in credit card debt that the minimum payments alone consume most of the paycheck.